Show a dimly lit bedroom with Arav sitting on the bed, the wall behind him where faint glowing symbols start to appear. The marks pulse like breathing. The wall bleeds. Cut to a close-up of Arav's shaking hands trying to scrub the marks away. The wall starts to bleed as he touches it, and the blood glows unnaturally, hinting at something supernatural. The Black Book. Show Arav flipping through the pages of an old black book, matching the symbols from a dimly lit bedroom with only the faint glow of moonlight seeping through the blinds. The camera slowly pans across the room, showing a cluttered yet lived-in space. Nothing out of the ordinary. However, the atmosphere feels tense. The shadows are heavy, and the air is thick with unease. Arav is sitting on his bed, staring blankly at the wall opposite him. The camera focuses on the wall, which appears completely normal at first, but subtle movement catches the eye. Faint marks begin to appear on the surface, like burn marks or scratches, glowing faintly with an unnatural red hue. The camera zooms in, revealing strange symbols forming slowly. These symbols twist and spiral, slowly expanding, as if alive. The symbols are intricate, reminiscent of ancient runes or a dark ritual, spiraling outward like a ritual circle, moving in unnatural ways. Arav stands up, drawn by the strange phenomenon, and the camera follows him as he cautiously steps closer to the wall. The wall bleeds. Arav reaches out, trying to scrub away the symbols with a cloth. But as soon as his hand makes contact, the wall doesn't just get cleaned, it bleeds. Warm, fresh blood drips down, staining the cloth, and the wall continues to pulse, as though it's alive. Arav's eyes widen in horror. He backs away, fear gripping him as the symbols continue to form. Close-up shot of Arav's shaking hand, trying to wipe away the blood, but it spreads faster. The camera then zooms in on his terrified expression, his lips moving, but no words come out. The blood moves like liquid fire, glowing in unnatural hues as it pours down the wall. The Black Book connection. Suddenly, Arav's eyes flicker toward the black book sitting on his desk. The book is old, with tattered pages. The camera focuses on it as Arav picks it up with trembling hands. As he flips through it, the same symbols he saw on the wall are now on the pages, matching perfectly. His finger traces one of the symbols from the book, and for a split second, the camera zooms out, capturing the whole room. The sound whispers, distant, barely audible, Arav. His name is whispered by unseen voices. The lights flicker, growing dimmer and then completely shutting off. The room is now pitch black, with only the faint glow from the blood on the wall illuminating the space. Stays in darkness for a few moments, creating a feeling of unease. Suddenly, the lights come back on, brighter than before, casting an eerie glow on the room. The symbols have changed. They're no longer spirals, they've shifted, and now form words. The camera pans over to the wall, revealing the message, "Set her free." Arav stares at the wall, his heart racing. A cold wind blows through the room, causing the curtains to sway violently. The sound of chains rattling echoes through the walls. Arav spins around, his eyes frantic. His gaze locks on the corner of the room, where a faint shadow flickers just out of sight. The camera moves slowly toward the shadow, increasing in intensity, and as it gets closer, a distorted voice whispers again, this time clearer. "Set her free, Arav." In a moment of panic, Arav turns back to the wall. The blood starts moving again, swirling around the symbols as if in response to the voice. His hand, without his consent, reaches for the wall again, fingers trembling as he traces one of the symbols. Suddenly, the room grows colder, and a faint female silhouette appears behind him in the reflection of the mirror, just an outline, a shadow, watching him. Cliffhanger. The screen cuts to black just as Arav turns around to face the apparition. The final words echo in the background. "Set her free" opens in a dark, eerie yard under a starless sky, the only light coming from a faint, flickering street lamp casting long shadows over the overgrown grass. The air is thick with an unsettling silence, and the wind barely stirs the leaves. The camera starts low, following Arav, who walks across the yard, his footsteps echoing in the stillness. The camera follows his movements, focusing on his face, nervous yet curious, his breath visible in the cold air. Arav pauses, feeling something unusual underfoot, a subtle murmur, like voices calling from below. The camera zooms in on his face as his expression shifts to confusion. He bends down slowly, cautiously, and presses his ear to the earth. The murmur becomes clearer, two distinct voices, one chanting rhythmically, the other pleading, sobbing. Arav's ear on the ground and his confused face, as if unsure whether to believe what he's hearing. The voices grow louder, more urgent, and the soil beneath his feet starts to pulse like a living thing. The camera follows the earth's movement, like it's breathing, as if the ground itself is alive. Arav's expression flickers with fear, his hand trembling as the voices become overwhelming. The whisper. As Arav steps back, unsure of what's happening, the ground shifts slightly under his feet, and a faint whisper, soft but unmistakable, echoes in his mind. The whisper grows louder and crystal clear, saying his full name, Arav, drawn out with chilling familiarity, on his face, his eyes wide with horror as the whisper calls to him again. The camera follows his gaze as he looks around the empty yard, feeling the weight of the world pressing in on him. The whispering follows him, coming from the earth beneath his feet, as if it's coming from all directions. The unearthing. Later that night, Arav digging in the same spot, his face dirty, sweaty, and full of terror. The earth is soft and wet, and as his shovel strikes something hard, the sound of cracking bone fills the air, showing a broken jawbone emerging from the soil, still wet, covered in dirt, and giving off an unnatural glimmer under the moonlight. Arav, shaking with fear, drops the bone on the cracked jaw, the wetness still seeping from it. His breath quickens, and the camera captures the wide-eyed horror on his face as the reality of the situation settles in. The whispering follows him. That night, as Arav returns to his house, disorienting fashion, giving the impression that the house is closing in on him, he shuts the door behind him, but the whispering doesn't stop, and the sound of whispering grows louder, filling the house. Arav, visibly exhausted, falls into his chair, clutching his head. The whispering continues in the background, as though it's coming from every corner of the house, seeping through the walls. His face tightens in fear, his hands shaking, as the whispering becomes more insistent. He screams for silence, his voice breaking in panic, but the whispering doesn't stop.